Hello, core artisans. My name is Shonda, and welcome to my channel Under the Needle Quilting and Crafts. So it's Thursday, and so I'm here for Thankful Thursday. And what am I thankful for? I'll show you what I'm thankful for. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a completed crocheted sweater. I'm going to show you guys my sweater. I made mistakes. I made lots of mistakes, but I am proud of it. It took me 3.5 months. I started this on January 3rd, and it is April 18th, and I literally finished whip stitching the pockets on an hour ago, maybe. Let's get my hair out of the way here. But this is my sweater. It's really warm. It's really heavy. I did make some changes. So these pockets, the pockets on here, you can barely see them. But this pocket has ribbing, and the ribbing is over here on the side because these are supposed to be side pockets, but I decided I wanted top pockets. So I should have put the ribbing on top, but by the time I realized that I had already sewn one of the sides of the pocket, and I was not about to try to find the yarn that I did the whip stitching with and try to take that out, because I probably would have ended up cutting some of the stitches from the sweater. But I am really thankful. I am so proud of myself. I made mistakes when I sewed on the collar. I sewed the collar on the wrong side. I sewed it on the right side of the sweater instead of the wrong side, or vice versa, or whatever, but I did it wrong. But no one's going to know, and I don't care. My sleeves are super long. My sleeves came out really, really long. And so I have considered potentially adding a few rows of ribbing just to make it kind of cinch on my sleeve, and just to kind of, so it'll kind of be like this, but I don't know if I want to do that or not. Right now, I'm just happy that this is done. I'm happy that this is done, and I'm really, really, really proud of myself because I expected this to take years. The scarf that I made took years. I started that scarf when my middle daughter was going to cheerleading practice when she was in middle school. She is about to graduate from college. That is how long I worked on that. And I just finished it last year. So that's how long it took me to finish that scarf. So when I started this sweater, I was not optimistic that this would be something that I would actually commit to and finish, but I have. And thusly, I have not done any sewing this week. I'm trying to think. I don't think so. I don't think I've sewn a single stitch, because when I was making the collar, once I got to a certain point, it was like, okay, if I just focus on this one project, I got to take it off. This thing is hot. This is a warm sweater. Okay. I'm hoping for a cool night because it's still April here in North Carolina. And so in April, sometimes we still have cool nights. So I'm actually really hoping for a cool night. And looking at the weather, I'm going to get it because tonight is 55 degrees is the low for tonight. Saturday is 52. Sunday is a high of 57 and a low of 44. Monday is a high of 67 and a low of 41. Tuesday has a high of 73 and a low of 48. And Wednesday has a high of 79 and a low of 45. Yeah, that's April. A 35 degree difference between the high and the low. That's about right for North Carolina. Yeah, that's about right. So I'm really excited because that's what I really wanted. I wanted to be able to finish it in time to actually be able to wear it outside. And I did. I didn't use anywhere near as much yarn as I was supposed to use. I think for the size that I made, it said that I was going to use 7 skeins of yarn. I used 5 and a smidgen. 5 and a smidgen. Like not even 5.5, because this is the full skein. And this is what I have left of my in progress skein. So full in progress. So not even a quarter of, I don't even think I used a quarter of it. I mean, maybe I used a quarter, maybe. So I used a lot less yarn than what the pattern called for. So one of the reasons why I chose this pattern is because it said it called for 7 skeins and I had 8 of these. And so I was hoping to use all of this and some of this is what I was hoping for, to not have a lot left. But I do. I have a lot left. I have enough left of this yarn to make a whole nother something else. Several something else's. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll add some ribbing, but if I do, it's not going to be now. It'll be at some point in the future. Maybe I'll, I know, one of the projects I wanted to make was the fingerless gloves by Bag a Day Crochet. She's got a pattern that calls for 200 yards of a DK weight. And so I'm like, okay, because that's what I expected. I expected to have enough yarn left over to make those gloves and then, you know, still have some left over, but not that much, right? So if I had used 6 and some change skeins, then this would have been gone. And then I would have used some of this and then I'd have like a skein and some change. Instead I have 2 and some change. So I don't know what I want to make. I might, I don't know. I need to figure it out. I do want to make the gloves. I think because this yarn does have some stretch to it, this would be good to make the gloves with. So I'm going to make the gloves and maybe I'll make some socks. I don't know. I've never made socks before. I'm really not jazzed about the idea of making socks, although I've looked into it a few times and I've downloaded several sock patterns. I don't know. Maybe I'll make myself some oversized like booty type socks. Maybe I'll hold 2 strands together. Because two threes makes a 4, right? 2 ones makes 2, 2 twos makes a 3, 2 threes makes a 4. So maybe I'll hold these 2 together and make myself like a chunky slipper boot. And then maybe I can make the gloves with just this, because this is way more than 200 yards. This skein is almost 400 yards and there's no way I used half of it. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I have not, like I said, I have not sewn a single stitch. So this is going to be really quick. I don't have anything else to show you because this is all that I've worked on. The only other thing that I've done is another crochet project. I think I showed you guys a blanket I was working on using the lark's foot stitch. It's upstairs. Let me go grab it. Okay, so the blanket. I have added some more rows to it. I like how it's looking. So I'm just gonna put this down with a stitch marker so that my stitches don't unravel. Okay. So this is the bottom, this is the top, but you can see when you flip it over, it looks like the blanket's giving you the middle finger. So yeah, I like it. So I've gotten the first row, the first colored row I did wrong. You can't tell that from this side of the blanket, but you can tell it from this side of the blanket. I lost my middle finger because I was doing the stitch wrong. Now I could have taken it out, but it's just not that serious. This is just a side project. I already have the yarn. I was going to do the granny squares, but I'm not now. I just didn't enjoy making them, like I said. This is actually really fun to make. I don't have to look at a pattern at all. And with the granny squares, I constantly had to watch the pattern because I'm just not used to making granny squares, and it just wasn't fun the way I wanted it to be, because the whole point of that project was that it was supposed to be just something fun for me to pick up and work on in the background and hopefully take on the go, but it's not useful for me for that. So now that the sweater's done, I don't know if I'm going to start another crochet project or not. Sorry, I got a phone call. So I think the next project is going to be the fingerless gloves. It's just something small to work on. And this is this lark's foot stitch blanket, this middle finger blanket is just going to be something that I just do when I feel like doing it. I like that I can just pick it up at any time, no pattern. I don't have to look at anything. And that was one of the things I liked about working on the sweater, the cardigan, was because, and it's called the Up North Cardigan, and it's by the Make and Do crew. Up North Cardigan by the Make and Do crew. So I don't see myself starting another garment right away. I think I just want to keep the project small. So I definitely want to make the gloves. That was already on the list. The gloves were already on the list. So that'll probably be my next project because I can use the same yarn and just downsize my crochet hook and be good to go. So, and this is just my background project. This is just something I can pick up on and do when I'm in the bed, that I don't need anything. I don't have to look at it. I don't even need a stitch marker. I don't even need stitch markers to work this. I don't have to count. Even for the cardigan, I had to do a lot of counting. I do a lot of counting. And I used a lot of stitch markers. A lot. I was able to do it without having to constantly consult the pattern, but I had to constantly count and constantly use stitch markers. Constantly. So it's just really joyful to have something I can just pick up and just crochet. So that's what I'm gonna, this is what I'm gonna be working on, and the gloves. I want to get back to quilting. I spent my entire weekend, last weekend, in the bed. I did absolutely nothing. Nothing. I basically stayed in the bed for 2 days. It was magnificent. I loved it. I don't normally get to stay in bed all weekend, and I love staying in bed. I didn't used to, but I love it now. I can spend the entire day in bed, all day. Adrian's not like that. So normally when he's home, I don't get to spend the day in bed because he's home. But, and he's been off on weekends for like a year and a half or something like that, over a year. But now he's starting to work a couple of weekends. And so I'm enjoying it in the sense that I get to stay in bed. Where normally he's like, come on, girl, get out the bed. You can't lay in bed all day. You got to get up. And so I get up. But he had to work this weekend, or last weekend, I should say. And so I stayed all weekend in bed. This weekend, he has to work on Sunday. He has to work Sunday. I don't anticipate spending the day in bed on Sunday, though. I don't anticipate that. But it was nice. It was nice. But not going to lie, if I have a productive Saturday and I get a lot of stuff done, I might spend the day in bed. I might do that. I don't know. We'll see. But I do want to get some sewing done because I didn't get any sewing done. So I still need to finish my 4th of July table runner. It's still in the same state that it was last week. I have not touched it. I have not touched it because it was all about the crochet and staying in bed. And so I couldn't finish the table runner and still stay in bed. But I could work on the cardigan and stay in bed. And so that was the choice that I made. I also finished this little kerchief here. I have not weaved in the ends. I have a few ends to weave in. But I did finish this. Basically, I finished it, and then I had some yarn left over, and I knew it wasn't enough yarn to do a whole nother row. So I just kind of did a row here and kind of finished this edge off. And I think I'm just going to take this leftover yarn here and make myself a couple of ties on the end. I guess this end kind of already has one, but I'm going to make myself a couple of ties just so it's less yarn for me to throw away because I'm not keeping this. I'm not keeping this. I'm not. What am I going to do with it? I'm not keeping it. So knowing that I'm just going to throw away any leftover yarn, I think I'm just going to make myself two double ties and put one on each side, and that'll use up some of this yarn, and then whatever's left, I will toss. And yeah, that's it. That's all. That's what I've been working on. That's what I've been working on. Nothing else. Nothing else. I've been trying really hard not to buy things. Seen a lot of great sales. Missouri Star sent me a 25% off coupon, and I've been trying not to use it, and I haven't. I go to their website, I put stuff in my cart, and then I let it sit there, and then I go back to their website, and I look at more stuff, and I put it in my cart, and then I let it sit there, and then I go back, and some of the stuff that was on sale isn't on sale anymore, so then I remove it from my cart because it's not on sale anymore, and then I find more stuff to add to the cart, and then I just, this has been like a month now. The coupon's probably expired. I hope that it is, because I'm really, really making an effort here not to buy a lot of stuff. I am going to have to buy some yarn for the middle finger blanket that I was showing you because I've only got 15 of the colored yarns. And when I'm almost done with the first set of 5. And so that first set of 5 tells me how big my blanket is going to be if I take that times 3, and it's not big enough. So I'm going to have to get a couple of skeins of yarn. I found a variegated yarn at Hobby Lobby because that's where this yarn came from. I found a variegated yarn at Hobby Lobby that has like the similar colors in it as far as like the blue, the pink, the green, the cream, and the tan. And so I thought of getting a couple of skeins of that and alternating that with the other yarn. So that's what I'm looking at. Say I'm going to have to buy some yarn. I considered buying it online, but the shipping is so much. The shipping was a lot. It's like Hobby Lobby charges like $8 for shipping. Then get it on Amazon and the shipping is a little less, but I don't know. I thought about just going on down to Hobby Lobby, but I'm afraid if I go down to Hobby Lobby, it's going to cost me a lot more than $8 in shipping. By the time my gas guzzling Pathfinder burns up all the gas to go all the way to Cary and back, and then and then it's Hobby Lobby. So I'm probably going to get more than just the 2 skeins of yarn. I'm going to look around. I'm going to find stuff. I'm going to buy other things. It's going to be a thing. But I think that's what I'm going to do because I feel like I need to see the color in person to make sure it's going to work with my blanket. I actually want to bring the blanket with me and hold up the yarn and choose what I think is going to be the best. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's me. That's me. That's what I've been working on. That's what I've been doing. And that wraps up my Thankful Thursday. And like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.